Fellow time travelers and ancient mystery hunters, welcome back to Secrets of the Ancients, where we unlock the most incredible secrets buried deep in the corridors of time. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on the most mind-blowing journey we've ever attempted. Today we're diving into the ultimate mystery that has puzzled scientists for centuries. Who was the very first human being? When did our incredible journey begin? Buckle up, because what we're about to discover will completely revolutionize everything you thought you knew about human origins. Before we embark on this extraordinary adventure through time, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you absolutely cannot miss the groundbreaking revelations we're about to uncover. Picture this incredible scene with me. 25 million years ago, our planet looked completely different from today. Massive tropical forests stretched across continents, and in these lush green paradises, something extraordinary was happening. A new family of creatures had emerged, the great apes. Among them lived our distant ancestors, beings with capabilities that would change the course of life on Earth forever. But here's the mind-blowing question that has baffled scientists. Which of these ancient apes took the crucial step that led to humanity? Recent archaeological discoveries have revealed something absolutely incredible about our family tree, and what we've found will leave you speechless. The mysterious Pierolopithecus, our acrobatic ancestor. Imagine yourself standing in the Mediterranean forests of ancient Spain, 13 million years ago. The air is thick with humidity, and towering trees create a green cathedral around you. Here lived a remarkable creature that scientists now believe was the father of our entire family line, Pierolopithecus. This ancient ape possessed abilities that had never been seen before in the animal kingdom. But what made Pierolopithecus truly special? Here's what will absolutely amaze you. This incredible creature was the first to perfect the art of walking upright, not on the ground as we once believed, but high in the tree branches. The shocking truth that scientists have recently discovered: walking on two legs wasn't invented by humans, it was invented by ancient apes. This revolutionary finding has completely changed our understanding of human evolution. But Pierolopithecus possessed something even more extraordinary than bipedalism. They had developed a trait that would become the foundation of all human civilization: empathy. The ability to understand and feel the emotions of others was virtually unknown in the animal kingdom, yet our ancestors had mastered it 25 million years ago. Watch this incredible scene unfold. A young male Pierolopithecus, cast out from his family, approaches a new group seeking acceptance. When an older female sees his distress, something magical happens. She doesn't just observe his pain, she actually feels it herself. This emotional connection drives her to help him, demonstrating the first spark of the compassion that would eventually build human societies. Here's a discovery that will blow your mind. Pierolopithecus invented something that no other mammal had ever achieved. They built sleeping nests in the treetops. While other animals could only sleep for minutes at a time, our ancestors created safe havens where they could sleep peacefully through the entire night. Why was this so incredibly important? During those long hours of deep sleep, something revolutionary was happening inside their brains. Scientists now know that sleep allows our minds to sort through information, discard what's useless, and store essential memories. This process, which we still use today, was the foundation that would eventually allow human intelligence to flourish. Without this incredible invention of safe, comfortable sleep, we never would have become human. It was literally the first step toward developing the advanced brains that would one day create art, science, and civilization itself. Fast forward to 7 million years ago along the shores of Lake Chad in Africa. Here lived descendants of our Pierolopithecus ancestors, but they had evolved into something even more remarkable, a species scientists call Sahelanthropus, or Tumai. These incredible beings were probably our common ancestor with modern chimpanzees, but they had developed capabilities that made them among the most dangerous and intelligent species on the planet. With Tumai, the march toward humanity accelerated dramatically. But here's what will truly amaze you about Tumai. They invented the concept of romantic partnership. For the first time in the history of life on Earth, a male and female could choose to leave their group and spend intimate time together, just the two of them. Before Tumai, mating was purely biological. It lasted only minutes and involved no emotional connection. But our ancestors revolutionized relationships by creating bonds based on choice, desire, and affection. They even invented face-to-face mating, a practice that deepened emotional intimacy. But Tumai's story takes a shocking turn. Scientists have discovered that our ancestors also invented something far more sinister: organized warfare. When competing groups met over valuable resources like fruit trees, the alpha males developed a terrifying new strategy: deliberate, calculated murder of their own species to steal territory and females. This discovery has revolutionized our understanding of human nature. The capacity for both love and war emerged simultaneously in our evolutionary history, creating the complex emotional landscape that still defines humanity today. Here's a discovery that will give you chills. Tumai became the first species to truly understand death. When a young member of their group drowned, something unprecedented happened. Instead of simply abandoning the body, they gathered around it in what can only be described as the first funeral ceremony in history. Why is this so significant? The awareness of mortality, understanding that life ends, represents a massive leap forward in consciousness. It shows that our ancestors had developed the ability to think about abstract concepts like existence, loss, and the passage of time. Scientists once believed that awareness of death was what made us human. Today, we know we share this knowledge with several other species, but Tumai were among the first to express it through ritual and ceremony. Climate change struck the ancient world with devastating force. As Africa collided with Europe, the Mediterranean Sea dried up completely. The lush forests that had supported our ancestors for millions of years began to disappear. Our remarkable Paleolithicus and Tumai families faced a choice: adapt or die. This was the great exodus that would scatter human ancestors across the globe. Some migrated south into Africa, others moved into Asia. Each group would evolve differently, adapting to new environments and challenges. This separation created the incredible diversity of early human species that would populate the ancient world. 2 million years ago, in southern Africa, lived descendants of our ancient family tree who faced the greatest crisis in human evolutionary history. These beings, called Sediba, were literally starving as their forest homes disappeared. They had to make a choice that would determine whether humanity would survive or go extinct. Here's the moment that changed everything. A brave young female and male decided to venture away from the safety of their trees to scavenge meat from predator kills. This was absolutely terrifying. They had never been so far from safety. But desperation drove them to risk everything for a chance at survival. What happened next literally saved humanity from extinction. The nutritious meat and fat they discovered provided energy in a way that plant foods never could. But more importantly, it began to change their bodies and brains in revolutionary ways. The tool revolution. But Sediba didn't just eat the meat, they invented tools to process it more efficiently. Using sharp stone flakes, they could cut carcasses into portable pieces and carry them back to safety. This was the birth of human technology, the creation of tools to extend our capabilities and solve complex problems. Here's where our story takes a dramatic turn. When faced with the choice between safety and opportunity, Sediba groups split into two paths that would determine the future of humanity. The conservative choice. Some groups chose to stay near their familiar trees, maintaining their traditional lifestyle. These beings, called Paranthropus, would survive for a while but ultimately couldn't adapt to changing conditions. Interestingly, the famous Lucy Long thought to be our direct ancestor was actually one of these evolutionary dead ends, the revolutionary choice. Others chose to leave the safety of the trees forever, venturing into the unknown savannas in search of a better life. These brave pioneers, guided by imagination and hope, became our direct ancestors. They dreamed of open spaces, abundant prey, and food for everyone, and amazingly, they found it. If some of our ancestors hadn't possessed this incredible courage to risk everything for a better future, you wouldn't be here today. Meet the hero of our evolutionary story, Homo erectus, the most successful human species before modern humans. These incredible beings were literally born to run and explore. 2 million years ago, they became the first humans to leave Africa, spreading across Asia and establishing communities from Spain to China. The athletic revolution. Homo erectus possessed the anatomy of champions. Their upright bodies were powered by long legs and balanced by swinging arms. They had developed an internal cooling system unlike anything seen before, short body hair, sweat glands, and a brain cooling system that regulated body temperature. This gave them endurance capabilities beyond any other living creature. Like wolves, they could track prey across vast distances. They were slower than their targets, but they could run much longer. When their prey became exhausted, they moved in for the kill, the social revolution. But here's what made Homo erectus truly special. They had moved beyond the might makes right mentality of their ancestors. Physical strength was no longer the only path to leadership. Intelligence, foresight, and social skills became equally important. For the first time in human history, females could become group leaders based on their mental capabilities rather than physical strength. Picture this incredible moment. A natural wildfire sweeps through a Homo erectus camp, destroying everything they had built. But in the ashes of destruction, they make a discovery that will change human history forever. They find an animal that was trapped and cooked in the flames, and it tastes absolutely incredible. This accidental discovery leads to one of humanity's greatest innovations, cooking food with fire. The effects were immediate and revolutionary. Cooked food was easier to chew, digest, and provided 16 times more energy than raw food. This meant their bodies could spend less energy on digestion and more on brain development. Cooking literally made us smarter. Our jaw muscles shrank, our bodies became lighter, and our brains became powerful machines capable of forming new connections, generating innovative ideas, and experiencing complex emotions. The birth of beauty. It was probably during this period that humans first developed aesthetic sense, the ability to be moved by beauty. The shapes and lights of fire sparked new sensations. For the first time, our ancestors were affected by the beauty of the world around them. With their increasingly sophisticated brains, Homo erectus developed the most important human capability of all: complex language. Thanks to evolution in the left side of their brains and small changes in their throat and larynx, their speech became incredibly clear. Now they could recall the past, discuss the future, and tell stories. The elderly became the keepers of tribal memory, sharing tales of their people's adventures and achievements. These stories gave meaning to their lives and created the first human cultures. Perhaps this is what truly makes us human. We are the first species that can tell our own story. Homo erectus continued to spread across the earth, adapting to every climate imaginable. Different population groups began to diverge genetically, leading to the emergence of new human species. In Indonesia, Solo Man emerged. On remote Flores Island, a tiny human no taller than 1 meter. In Central Asia, Denisovan Man appeared. In cold Europe, Homo erectus became Neanderthals, massive, incredibly strong beings who could survive harsh winters. Their skin became lighter to better absorb weak sunlight, their eyes and hair grew fairer. In Africa, Homo erectus became Homo sapiens, and through them, the greatest changes of all would occur. At least 6 different species of humans were living in the ancient world, each evolving according to their environment and creating their own unique cultures. However, this multifaceted humanity would not last long. 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens turned the human world upside down. They invented more complex societies and proved more creative in every field: art, skills, beliefs, magic, writing, medicine, and science. How did they manage to surpass all other human species? Certainly their extraordinary imagination helped, but so did the accumulated knowledge left by their ancestors, Paleolithicus, Tumai, Sediba, and Homo erectus. They had inherited millions of years of evolution, driven by the will to live and an intense desire to learn. Thanks to this knowledge passed down through the ages, these great dreamers gave rise to today's diverse peoples. Like their ancestors, Homo sapiens left Africa to conquer the world. They mastered navigation, crossed seas and vast ice sheets, traveled to Australia, reached America via the Bering Strait, and quickly inhabited the entire planet. What do you think about these incredible revelations? Which part of our evolutionary journey amazed you most? Share your thoughts with our community of fellow time travelers in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more mind-blowing archaeological adventures. In our next episode, we'll explore another incredible mystery. How did the first civilizations emerge from these early human pioneers? Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking the secrets of our incredible past. Until our next adventure through time, This is Secrets of the Ancients, reminding you that the greatest mysteries are still waiting to be discovered.